How many of you are needing a bit of a boost when it comes to manifesting love with your specific person? You're probably feeling like you're faced with this obstruction in the way. Those of you who have a third party, for example, that you have to deal with, that is just causing this block, this wedge between the two of you. What about if you're in no contact and it feels like it's just dragging, no contact for the longest time? Or maybe you've got this dysfunctional pattern whereby either it's all of your relationships break down in the same sort of way, i.e. we date the same person but with a different face, or perhaps if it's your specific person that you have a history with, this is a relationship that has struggled to become anything again, and you're back and forth wondering, am I ever going to be able to turn this around? Well, today's incredible success story from my client, not only has she turned it around, broken a pattern, removed a third party, broke through no contact and all the obstacles that were placed in her way, including distance. Not only did she break through all of that, but they're actually eloping and they're getting married. And she said they're going to have a proper wedding. I think you said next year, wasn't it, hun? Anyway, I did share a screenshot of her message when she shared with me the good news, and I've shared it on my community post. If I remember, I'll try and link it up to this video. But even better than that, she very, very graciously and generously took the time to share her story. Now, not all of my clients do that. I do have a lot of clients who get success. I have a very high success rate because you guys are so incredible. And this channel is dedicated to the elite of manifesting. Those of you who are here, you get it. And you're not here just for the hacks or the shiny clickbaity stuff. You're actually here to learn so that you can change your life long term, so that you can change your relationships in a profound way, destroy old patterns and get that marriage, that commitment. We're looking for the long-term successes here, not the sort of quick validation. And that's what she's looking for, and that's what she got. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a drink, and thank you again, darling, to you. Cheers to you and your success, and congratulations to your marriage as well. Very excited. You've got to keep us posted. Send us some pictures. I mean, I'll block everything out, don't worry. But protect your privacy. But I'm so blessed because, like I say, so many of my clients get success. But you'll be surprised, although I share a lot of the successes, there's a lot that I never get to share with you all. And it's a shame because people are sort of scared that their voices are going to be recognized. SP is going to come across my channel. I mean, I'm flattered. My channel's still small. We are still an intimate community because, like I say, you guys are next level. And I'm going to make sure all of you get the same success. So cheers to you all. Here's to all of you, no matter what you're manifesting. So stay till the end. And I'm going to give you a bit of insight as to what we did to break this pattern. The other teachers and that just couldn't break through with her. And I don't blame them. Not everyone is trained in terms of the human mind and the psychology. That's why I tell you, psychology has helped me so much. And this is why I change people's state so effectively. So those of you who know, you know. So I'm going to play her voice message here. I think I'll hold it up here, although it looks like I'm playing it to my boob, but you guys get what I'm doing.
Hi, Athena. I am trying to figure out this audio. Okay, got it. I am sending you my long-awaited success story for my SP manifestation. Sorry if I ramble on and on too much, but you know how I am. I just want to make sure that everybody knows enough of the long story short to be inspired in some way or motivated to not give up, because really every single circumstance is in this story. So SP and I have a very long history, as you know, probably a decade of knowing each other, but just the last 4 years or so reconnected and kind of got into a romantic relationship. When that first happened, it was super organic. Everything just clicked so instantly. All of our friends and family were just like, you guys are perfect for each other. You check every single one of each other's boxes. Like, you guys are just the perfect match. And we knew it. But obviously we were a little younger and had some more of our own personal things to figure out. So we broke up. I was completely blindsided and shocked when we broke up the first time. I couldn't believe it. I didn't see it coming. Not even an ounce of me saw it coming. So obviously I was devastated, which led me to my journey of spirituality and higher consciousness, manifestation, all that stuff. First through the law of attraction, which I feel like is what most people stumble upon first. And then I did find the law of assumption not too long after that, maybe a couple of months after that. So long story short, I might make this into 2 different voice messages, but anyways, I manifested him back probably a dozen times over the last 3 years, but it was never obviously my full manifestation, or I wouldn't have had to keep manifesting him back. So I was confident that I could manifest him back. I just needed to figure out how to keep it. And I would just always get the breadcrumbs and the lack of commitment over and over and over. And then also at one point, like there was about over a year with a third party in the picture. I spent so much money on coaches and courses and books and webinars, all of it. And I do definitely appreciate 3 coaches throughout my journey. Most recently, Athena. I don't know if I'm talking to Athena right now or if I'm talking to the community. So sorry if I keep talking in third person. But anyways, when I tell you there were dozens of coaches, there literally were dozens. Like if I wouldn't change anything because everything led me to where I am now. But if I would have found you sooner, I would have saved a lot of money. But that's just kind of a side note. Most recently was, and my, last and final manifestation coach is Athena. Okay, so going back to the story, 2.5 years, I would say, so much hot and cold. I knew he loved me. I knew he wanted to be with me. I knew that the end of us together was inevitable. It just made sense. Like what was happening in the 3D just didn't make any sense. Us being together was so much more obvious, So that was a thing, and I knew I was high. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. I got cut off because I got a phone call from the SP actually. So anyways, as I was saying, I knew it was inevitable. I knew he loved me, but there was just so much hot and cold that there were definitely times that I thought maybe I should just give up. Maybe it's not, maybe it really isn't supposed to be my end. I knew I was high value and irreplaceable, and so I couldn't understand why a 3P would keep showing up in our story. Like, I had a good job, I have a lot of nice things, I take care of myself, I'm independent, I'm kind, I knew I was capable now after all of the work I had put in on myself of being a good partner, and I just couldn't understand why I was getting so caught up on 80% of my manifestation, but not the full thing. So, like I said, at a certain point, it got so bad that it was pretty much, it seemed impossible. He had moved in with the 3P. They moved about 20 hours away. He had me blocked on every single platform. I did at that point try to move on, but my heart would just never truly let anybody else check all of the boxes that he checked for me. And so I just kept telling myself that somehow, some way, if it wasn't my end, it was the middle. My routine at that point, my daily manifestation routine, was really focused on self-care and kind of checking my own boxes daily. So I just kind of I realized that I was not getting commitment. And so when I tried to see what that was mirroring back to me, it obviously was me not committing to myself. So as far as my manifestation routine, it was no matter how tired I am, no matter how lazy I am, if I'm running late, if I'm discouraged, I had to do my routine. Not even because I thought the techniques were going to bring me anything. I just had to commit to what I was supposed to be doing. So I would do a God state meditation in the morning. I would go to the gym. While I was at the gym, I would warm up and do some light walking. And while I was walking, I would listen to a Neville Goddard audiobook. And then I would do the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself meditation by Joe Dispenza, the full 1-hour version, every morning after the gym. And then, obviously there are other parts of taking care of yourself. So I take my vitamins. I tried to eat really healthy, did my face care routine, all that stuff. Drink my water, get sleep. And then on my lunch break from work, if I would have time, I would do another meditation, either one about feeling safe to love or feeling safe to be loved. And then one about being enough. I would do both if I had time, but typically I didn't have time for both. Then before bed, I would script. I would do breath work to kind of relax, and then I would do my sats or my visualization. That's a lot of stuff throughout the day, but that's kind of what I needed at the time. And once I started feeling more calm, I could back off of the techniques. And then one thing that I never stopped, no matter how good I felt, including still now, I do my gratitude journal in the morning, and then at night I do good things. So good things that happened to me today, or good things I did for other people. And they can be small, or mini manifestations that I noticed. So yeah, that's a lot. But after watching a lot of YouTube and I said, trying to work with way too many coaches and way too much content, I really had to cut myself off from YouTube for a little bit. And I think even at one point when I was working with you, I had told you that I love all your videos, but I had to commit to myself to just stop watching everything for a little bit, because I was getting too stuck in a reality of trying to absorb and a reality of having to watch videos because I still didn't have what I wanted. So I already knew all of the information that you had taught me. So I had to cut myself off from watching the videos and just decide what was resonating the best. So then I had my one session with you, and you kind of showed me where the gaps were and how they were a lot more general. So I was putting a lot of limitations on what type of love was a possibility for me. And that was solely based on the old versions of him and myself. So I kind of started to realize that he was mirroring back to me, not that he wasn't the one for me, but actually that I was the one blocking myself from love and blocking myself from the possibilities that were available to me and that I did deserve. I was kind of afraid to go all in and to commit. It kind of makes me laugh because I'm like, I've been begging for a commitment for 2 years, come to find out that like I was subconsciously afraid to commit because I was afraid, of abandonment and all of those things, just because of past relationships. So again, I just had to have the discipline to make a decision that was my past and that was no longer going to be going into my future. So I had to just get out of my own way and decide that I was good enough, just like everybody else. And if everyone else can have these success stories, then like I have to be next. So once I got with you on all of that and I started working on that, I let go of me and my SP altogether, and I started scripting more generally, not just about what I thought was possible, but really just what I wanted and what I deserved. And when I did that, everything changed. This is getting so long. I'm sorry. I'm almost done, I swear. So once I did that, everything really did change. But there was a complete like deterioration of the old us. Like we had a huge blow up, which really, really seemed like the end. And I know you can testify to that. It was not pretty. I remember texting you and voice messaging you just so distraught that everything was crumbling. And you just reiterated to me that in order for all of the right pieces to come together, the old ones have to like just crumble. And that is exactly what I felt like. I had to take about a week at that point to really just let all of my emotions pour out of me. I was crying, but it was really the first time I was truly angry instead of sad or like desperate for him. So I got all those emotions out of me. I wrote kind of like a burn letter, just let out all my frustrations from like a 3D perspective, and then burned that. And then kind of just decided like I really needed to take him out of the situation, myself out of the situation, all of the players in the game, and just kind of zoom out and just kind of observe the situation for what it was mirroring, not who was saying what and what they were actually saying, but what it was supposed to teach me. So once I did that, I felt like I was in a lot better place, but I did still continue to journal generally about myself and about my relationship with love in general. So I ended up writing in my journal towards the end of January, once I got mentally just a little bit more excited again about love. I wrote, I am getting married in 2025, which at that point obviously sounded batshit crazy because I had just had the biggest blow up ever with my SP. No other men, even in the cards, I wasn't looking. There's no way that like that was a practical thing to write down, but I wrote down with confidence, I am getting married in 2025. I am living the life of my dreams with the love of my life. I am so blessed in life and in love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's exactly what my journal says. And I didn't write his name down. I didn't even think about him when I wrote it. I just knew that that's what I was ready for in 2025, and that God or the universe or whoever would show me who it was going to be with. And I just needed to stop trying to control everything and know that like that statement was enough. Like I'm getting married in 2025, and all of the pieces would, the how, the when, the who would all show up if I just let go. So yeah, that was kind of it at the end of January. And then things really escalated quickly. He came back into my life pretty much out of the blue, very fast, very strong, very madly and deeply in love with me. We are together now. We are communicating better than we've ever done. We are navigating challenges better than we ever have. It really is like the most insane quantum leap that I've been obviously waiting and learning and trying and praying for like years. So I obviously put in the work, but it was just a matter of like getting out of my own way after I knew that the work was done. So yeah, we're living together and we're actually eloping next week. So we will officially be married and my journal entries will be true. So that's insane. It was 11/11 on the timestamp after I said that. So yeah, that's it. So I just wanted to send you that success story. Sorry it was so long, but I just hope that if there's somebody who feels like their circumstances are going in the opposite direction or getting worse or crumbling to the ground, don't give up if you don't want to. If you can still visualize the end, then you're still in the middle and you just have to keep going. But you have to do the work and you have to zoom out and you have to not ignore 3D, but truly observe it from like a bird's eye view and take the people and the emotion and the, personal side out of it and just truly look at it as a teacher. And yeah, everything will fall into place so fast after that. I have not talked to SP about manifestation, but he does repeat my affirmations. Or like, when my visualizations start happening in 3D, I definitely get super giddy. I'll just tell you one of the most unbelievable ones. I mean, he's literally repeating all of my affirmations. It's insane. But the one, I was getting ready. We were going out to dinner. And I was putting my makeup on or something across the room, and he was staring at me, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I just can't stop looking at you. You are just such, like, I'm attracted to you, obviously, but like, you are just like, I don't even know how to say, like, how perfect, like, of a woman you are. And I kind of just started laughing. And this is the craziest thing. He said, the perfect physical embodiment of the divine feminine, which is one of my affirmations that I used to say just for my own self-concept. I'm the perfect physical embodiment of the divine feminine. I would just repeat that on one of my like rampages. Like, that is not something that anybody would just come up with on their own and say. So that is probably my most crazy affirmation that he's repeated. But like I said, the fact that we're living together and married and everything is seemingly picture perfect. I just don't even know how to thank you. And you were definitely the final piece of my manifestation puzzle. And I'm so grateful that we got to connect and you got to help me, close my gaps and get everything that I ever wanted. So I hope that this helps your community and anybody who needs a little bit of motivation or inspiration to not give up through the middle or the circumstances that are falling apart. Just keep going. So thank you again. And I will definitely keep in touch and continue to update you on how our life together goes.
Please.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing?
Then that's me responding back to her. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, hi, sweetheart. Like, wow, just amazed and so grateful. Thank you so much again, my love, for sharing your story, your success story with us all. And, where to begin? Where to begin? Because I was trying to remember elements of it so that I can reiterate back. So obviously, one of the key things that you said, that you were working a lot on yourself. Now, I said to you as well from the beginning, and I'll say this to all of you guys, I actually think that majority of you who are watching this right now, I will say in all confidence, you got no problem manifesting your SP back. Some of you might think, oh yeah, I do. I can't, it's been however long, but trust me on this. You're all capable of it. You all can absolutely do it. The main issue that majority of people I come across is baking cakes. No, is breaking the old patterns of behavior to ensure that we don't come across the next breakdown. Like she said, she'd known this guy for a long time. They finally get together, they have a relationship, it's all great. But you see, her cycles were just repeating themselves. In all her relationships, she'd have these cycles. These fears of abandonment stopped her from fully embracing and committing to any relationship. Not saying like she wasn't committed, but saying that when we're worried about what could potentially go wrong, we're not fully invested in the relationship, enjoying it and being present. We're too busy looking for all the reasons it could break down and interpreting everything that your SP does and says as a sign that it's going to break down. Like, oh my God, they didn't text me back straight away. Maybe they're with someone else. Maybe they're getting bored of me, And of course, many of us have been in this cycle, like I said before. So I knew that she would be able to manifest him back. The problem is, as she knows, it was always this hot and cold, coming together, but not quite coming together. And especially where she had this immense distance of, 20 hours, did you say, hon? 20 hours distance. And then a third party in the way as well, which of course, it's very difficult for many of us to see through these obstacles, then to know that you're blocked as well. I think she really struggled by the time she came to me. She'd been through so many coaches. And of course, sometimes these, like I say, these longer term changes need more than just your affirmations. A lot of coaches will give that because that's all they know. But that's why I say I'm more of a consultant. I have to go deep dive, and we go into deep dive shift work that you take for the rest of your life, and the skills that I've given her, she's taking with her for the rest of her life. And you see, this time he comes back. This time it's for keeps. And I knew that. I said, that's it. This time it's for keeps. That's what I say to all of them. My Discord group as well, we're in the workshops. A lot of my clients are just like, you know what? We know this bridge needs to unfold, whatever it takes, however long it takes, but this time it's for keeps, or this time the relationship that you have, that's it, that's going to be it. You're more prepared for it, you're more mentally in tune. Now, she was investing a lot of time and energy into herself, as you could see, and she was doing every meditation under the sun by the sounds of it, and they sound incredible, hun. remember what I always say. It's not about doing loads of work. Don't make this difficult for yourself. In fact, less is more. But if you're using effective methods, you will need less of it. So she was doing these meditations. She was enjoying it. Joe Dispenza in that. Love it. Neville Goddard. Amazing, brilliant stuff. And of course, she's trying to get to the root of these abandonment wounds. She's trying to feel better within herself. And this is what was helping her at the time. All of you will find your own way of feeling better. But like I say, we wanted to break the pattern. So when I saw her, I got her to see her worth in relation to him, because what she was doing and what the coaches were teaching her were fine in terms of self-love and this self-worth. But remember, self-love doesn't necessarily equate to you being in a loving, committed relationship with your specific person. The two don't necessarily connect. Yes, it's wonderful to have that self-love, and I do recommend it. It's great to have confidence in yourself and self-assuredness and invest in yourself and do the facials, do the gym, whatever it is. You know, she had her own way. But she still wasn't making the connection with her SP. And that's what we had to do together. I had to get her to see her worth and her value in relation to him. I had to make her see and shape her into the version of her that, of course, he was going to come back to. Of course, he was going to commit. She was going to have that marriage with him. And I didn't see it any other way. And by the time I was done with her, and we didn't spend too long on it, she just adopted it and adapted it immediately. Now, yes, her bridge was horrific and she had a complete spiral. But I wasn't worried, because like I'd said to her, she said like everything had to come crumbling down. And that's not how all bridges unfold, by the way. Your world doesn't have to come crumbling down, right? It's not a prerequisite, but bridges can be bumpy. And I knew, because I've seen enough success stories of my own, of you guys, whether I've worked with you, whether you just watched the channel. By the way, I still want you all to share your success. I don't care if you've coached with me or not. All of you have a voice. This is our channel. This is our family, our community. So share with the family here. If you want to email it to me, email it to me. If you want to voice note it, especially my clients, I'm going to make you guys voice note it, because I'm getting so many client successes. I want to show you guys, these are actual people though, you know, this is not just hiding behind a text or something. But another thing that she did was really, really important, and I want to highlight. She had, like a lot of people, suppressed a lot of emotions. I think many of you in this community are made to fear your emotions. So when you're feeling bad and you're having a bad day, you're probably trying to flip your thoughts, affirm over it, imagine against it. And I always say, leave it alone. You've already done your imaginite, you've already occupied the state, you've already embodied it, you've scripted it, whatever you've done, it's done. Leave it alone. That's it. It's done. Just remind yourself that I've done the act. And even if you are having a crappy day, which I've talked about many times in my videos, it's not going to derail things. But things are going to happen that you don't expect. And SP is going to be acting and reacting in ways that you can't control, because you don't control them. They're not puppets to us, right? They do have their own lives. But that doesn't mean that it's not working in your favor. And you have to accept that even though you can't predict how this is always going to unfold, even though it's not necessarily the way that you would have personally chosen it to unfold. I wouldn't have when I manifested my very, very, very first SP when I was like quite young, I did not want for or expect that he was going to come back and everything was going to be great, like come back for the evening, and we talked and we reconnected. I thought, yeah. And then he went back the next day. I thought to get his stuff, but I went back to the third party, because they were living together, and I was back to being blocked and ghosted until a few months later. But it was a perfect unfolding. And don't think I didn't spiral, because I did spiral too, and she was spiraling. But I've seen this stuff enough times, so I was able to objectively tell her what was happening here and convince her that this is what needed to happen, and to just stay true. I wasn't, I couldn't see it any other way for her. I already decided that this was done, and she had to. She accepted it. And that's why when she wrote down about she was getting married, that was an inspired action that perhaps you didn't realize it, hun. But because you're occupying the state, you're like, I'm getting married in 2025. That wasn't you manifesting it to happen. That was you being moved to write down what was essentially premonition, because you're already on the bridge. It was like me when I manifested Joseph, and I ended up saying, right, I'm going to have my perfect person by Christmas. Do Do you remember I told you guys the story? And when I did my perfect person list, you know, I'd forgotten that I'd done the imaginal act for Joseph, because that was like 5 years prior, 4 or 5 years prior. But when I was thinking, okay, that's my perfect person list, it's going to come in by Christmas. And you know what I say to you guys? Don't put deadlines on it, because we don't decide the time. But I don't know, I felt adamant about it. And that's because my bridge was already unfolding and I tapped into it, kind of like a premonition. And that's what happened with her. She tapped into the bridge knowing that she's going to get married in 2025. And she is. And congratulations, darling. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say congratulations on that. And we wish you the very best. And if you do want to share any images with us, you know, please do. And like I said, I can censor it, or you can censor it accordingly, or just give us an update. Whatever, you know. But it's very, very nice, because like I say, majority of my clients do not, or they forget me. They go and live the high life. If you're one of my clients and you're watching this, come back with your success story. This is your sign. And even those of you who are, you know, you're not a client of mine, it doesn't matter. Share your success. All of you deserve to have a voice. All of you deserve to revel in your success. Every single one of you is a success. Now, let's get you back into the state of success. That's what I did with her, because otherwise, how else can we manifest more success, more abundance, if we're not occupying that state? I got her to remember, to remind herself of what love is, what a loving relationship is. She forgot. Well, she didn't really know, because her vision of love was clouded by dysfunctional relationships of the past, the trauma, and this on and off relationship with him. You see, it's so important. You're always turning your focus and attention to what you want and yourself in relation to that desire. It's all very well loving yourself, but I could love myself and still be afraid of relationships. I could absolutely be wonderfully confident in myself, but still not feel chosen in relation to that specific person. Do you see the difference? Okay, so I really hope that this helped you guys out. I've got some exciting videos coming up for all of you, so stay tuned, okay? I love you all. Join us on our Discord if you do want to have more of that support, ongoing support, and live Q&As, workshops. Joseph and I have got it covered. He's been very busy teaching some amazing advanced manifesting. So if you guys are curious, do come along. Speak to the Neville bot. Daddy Neville, as we've been calling him. He's been a game changer for so many of you. Have been reporting incredible things. He's like your 24/7 coach, but he's Neville Goddard. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you again. And I'll see you in the next video.